This is the voice of freedom. We are not one voice. We are many. We are your voice. But we can only be effective if you use your voice. Your voice. This is the voice of freedom. We will not hide from the truth. We will ask the hard questions until we are sure we have the truth. Welcome to the voice of freedom, where your voice will never be silenced.
Well, g'day folks, how you going? Thanks for joining me. I know we've had a few issues in the last few days trying to catch up, so I do apologise. There's been a lot of interesting reflection done on the video that I put out the other morning about the RBA being bust. A lot of people complaining that they've not heard anything about it. Well, that's mainstream media for you folks. They're not going to tell you what's going on. The mainstream media are all part of it. But just in case you were wondering, here is the site that I got it from. This was sent through to me. It's real money. Now, what I will do is find that site right now and copy that and paste that into the chat. So anybody who wants to can go and read it. Sorry, I'm using fingertip mouse on a laptop. You know, with a man like me who suffers fat finger disease with the clarity I do, that's a bit dangerous. So that's the link I've just put up in the chat there. You'll be able to go and read for yourself what the Australian Central Bank says about itself. Now, Central Bank, Reserve Bank, that is the Australian Reserve Bank or the Reserve Bank of Australia, the RBA. So take from that what you will. I also put a post up on my Facebook pages this morning, and I don't know if it's filtered through here or if others have mentioned it yet. I'm sure it's all over the place. There is news today that Vanguard and Blackrock have both declared bankruptcy over the weekend. What was the date again over the weekend? Just wondering. At any rate, there is a very, very, very strong message coming out of America that Vanguard and BlackRock have declared bankruptcy. Not just those two institutions, which are basically the two main institutions in the world, but there are also a number of private banks who Chase and others. Now, in Australia, we've seen some changes in some banking institutions. Bank WA, Bank SA have removed all of their East Coast branches. I think they only had 13 and they were doing less than 100 transactions a day or something like that. May or may not be significant. We are in that, but did have that all asked about face. So it turns out that the $250,000 limit that I was speaking about in the bail-in laws is workable for the institutions. It's the first $250,000 worth of deposits that are guaranteed by the government. It's not your first $250,000. It's the first $250,000 of the institution. So that takes me back to the point that if the RBA, as this article suggests, is broke, then, well, that's where government gets its money. If you still think that your taxes go to the government, you're wrong. Taxes go to the cabal. Government gets its money through the RBA, and then it uses it however it likes. The RBA can print as much money as they like. So fairly interesting. Just go down. Maybe I don't need to. I'm going to play you something here, folks. The audio on it's not great, but turn it up because this went to air on Fox News only a matter of, well, in the last few hours or so. I couldn't tell you exactly how long ago, but it's been sent to me that this has gone to air from Fox News in the last few hours. Watch very closely and listen very closely.
Watermark ballots in over 12 states have been part of a huge Trump and military white hat sting operation. And Biden crime family and ballot fraud co-conspirators, elected officials, bureaucrats, social media censorship mongers, fake stream media reporters, etc., are being arrested and detained for ballot fraud right now and over coming days, and will be living in barges off Gitmo to face military tribunals for sedition. Molly, you need.
I don't know. What do you reckon? I think you know what I think. Anyway, that's all the ducks lining up, as I see someone has said. Janet, congratulations. Yes, you and I think alike. The VoF streams keeps cutting in and out. They must be playing with me live. Mate, they've been playing with everything else. I've been banned off Facebook for 29 days. I'm not allowed to go live on Facebook for 29 days. Don't know why. However, we'll won't even bother fighting it. I don't think Facebook will be alive in 29 days. Do you want to have another look at that video? Just so you can say, I didn't imagine it. Here, hang on a second. Let me just bring it up again.
Watermark ballots in over 12 states have been part of a huge Trump and military white hat sting operation. And Biden crime family and ballot fraud co-conspirators, elected officials, bureaucrats, social media censorship mongers, fake stream media reporters, etc., are being arrested and detained for ballot fraud right now and over coming days, and will be living in barges off Gitmo to face military tribunals for sedition. Molly, you need theories.
So Joe Biden won the election, and I'm a conspiracy theorist. It's going to be an interesting time ahead, folks. It's going to be a really interesting time ahead. So have a read of that article that I've posted in the link. I'll put it here again if you want. Drop that in there again so you don't have to go searching for it back up in the chat. So I don't know, Mike, too many interesting things happening. Yes, it would be good if it were all true, not holding your breath, just seeing more than we've ever seen before. I'm pretty confident that when Fox News or any of the mainstream media is coming out with that kind of a thing, and bear in mind, they're only talking about 12 states having watermarked ballots at this stage. But I can tell you that every state had watermarked ballots. I'm pretty confident. And they know where every ballot in the country went. So it'll all come down to the states recalling their electoral votes, which I believe has already happened. I believe that the whole thing that happened in 2020 has been overturned, and not just overturned, but annulled. But there is a process that has to be gone through that involves the Supreme Court. And that process is going to unfold over the next couple of weeks right in front of our eyes. It's going to be very interesting to see how America at large takes this. Do need a signal booster. It could be because at the moment I'm sitting in a motel room in the middle of nowhere, and right now I'm working off this because that piece of shit doesn't work again. So that could have a lot to do with all of that. Really crappy signal. I'll put my phone out the back there and see if that makes a difference. I just thought you should see that little thing from Fox News, and I know that a lot of people were very interested to try and get a bit more information on the news that I spread about the RBA. Now, the fact that I've also mentioned Vanguard and Blackrock probably means this video is going to go and get banned, but it is going to Project Matilda. Project Matilda will stay up. We're pretty confident regardless what happens. It's a very free platform, and if I get knocked off YouTube, and there's every likelihood that YouTube's going to get knocked off YouTube, then Project Matilda is the place to go. Please like and subscribe. If you haven't already done so, folks, please like and subscribe, because it's given me the absolute shits on Nunn2K, on the Nunn2K channel, Nunn, the number 2K. I am sitting at like 9,311 subscribers, and I have been sitting at 9,311 subscribers for weeks. I think YouTube have got my thing squashed. Either that or absolutely nobody's liking and subscribing, and that's highly possible too. But if you are someone who hasn't liked and subscribed yet, then maybe you found this little bit of information today entertaining or in some ways useful, not youthful, then please like and subscribe. Tell your friends. There's going to be a lot more information coming out about this, and you will hear it here on the Voice of Freedom. Have no fear. I'm not going to pretend to you I'm going to be the first one. I don't get told anything first. That's not how it works. But I'm very happy and very able to and prepared to pass it along to you. And as I say, Joe Biden won back in 2020, and I'm just a conspiracy theorist. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. It's hard. After the day I've had, it's hard not to be a little happy is the word I'm looking for. Q did say, Samantha, yes, that we would love this ending. I think what we're going to see here is just, this is just, well, the end of one thing, the beginning of something else, and it's going to be very cool. Denise, never heard of that channel before. You've never heard of Fox News before? Well, there's a marketing department that hasn't succeeded very well. What else? Fox News is a majority Murdoch owned. You wouldn't trust what Fox News says, but you'd trust them to tell you that Donald Trump was a pedophile or, you know, whatever else. You can't have it both ways. It doesn't work like that. To have a major news network come out and admit something like 12 states have come out with watermarked ballots. Look, cognitive dissonance. If you don't know what cognitive dissonance is, and I didn't until a few years ago, I had to go and look it up. Can I recommend to those people who still think that Joe Biden won and I'm a conspiracy theorist, go and have a look at cognitive dissonance. Learn what that means, because they're two very important words, and you suffer from it really, really badly. It's a bad thing, and we try and wake you up, and we're trying to do it gently, but I have a very funny feeling time is running out, and the red pills are coming. They're going to be big, they're going to be fast, and they're going to be nasty. We are in for a bit of hard times, folks. We've been saying that, so be prepared. Get a bit of cash in your pocket and put a bit of tin food in the cupboard. Make sure you can look after the neighbour a bit, because there's going to be plenty of those people out there who didn't get their tin foil out and haven't wrapped anything in it and aren't prepared in any way, shape or form. So rather than leaving them out in the streets to starve, we are the kind of people that will help. And that's what this channel's all about. We're not going to go nani-nani-na-na. Well, after today, we're not going to go nani-nani-na-na. There might be a few more nani-nani-na-nas. But anyway, they're not going to be many. And it's all about being able to help people through this. So we all have to remember, for the most part, outside of the trolls and the ultimately cognitive dissonant that are in the channel, we're a long way ahead of many, many other people in this road. This rabbit hole, these rabbit holes, rather than bragging about the fact of how deep we've gone and how deep we are and how entrenched we are in them. Maybe we come up to the surface again and grab a couple and hold a few hands and bring them down with us, so that they're not ashamed. They're going to be ashamed. They're going to be scared. They're going to be humiliated, but we can make that journey short and painless, or we can make that journey long and painful, and to some probably enjoyable. I hope not to be one of those people. I hope I'm bigger than that. So I'm pretty sure I am. But that's my hope. I really do think things are coming along, folks. Look, I might just be out polishing the tinfoil, but It's not how I feel. My gut tells me that this is what's happening. We were talking about the 24th, and we're all wondering what could go, what's happened. And I'm getting all sorts of text messages and emails from people saying, oh, yeah, the 24th, nothing happened. When I put up on my Facebook page this morning about Blackrock and Vanguard, people immediately went to the mainstream media to find news of that, or to go to the companies' commissions to find out if they'd been deregistered or listed as bankrupt. And there's none of that details listed. Of course not. You haven't figured out yet? Those bastards run the world. Literally run the world their way. They can hide anything. So if you think mainstream media is going to tell you the shit that I'm telling you, you're off dancing with the fairies. All right? And look, can I show you the proof of it right now? No, I can't. But I told you a few days ago that the Reserve Bank of Australia said itself it was bust. I've just posted the links. Hang on, I'll post them again just so you can see it yourself. Okay, so it's not me making shit up. I find this stuff. I share it with you. Now you make out of it what you will. I tend to believe most of it. There's a lot that I don't believe. I shouldn't say I believe most of it, but I tell you what I feel, what I think. Now, if that's no good, find somebody else to go and watch. That's no problem for me. I'm not doing this for your adulation. I'm doing this to get it out of me and in the hope that it helps somebody. So that's all I can hope for, that this helps enlighten a few more people. Lemon bitters. Doesn't 2,000 mules expose the election? Yes, it does, but it had limited mainstream release and is only available if you're prepared to pay to watch it online. I think Dinesh D'Souza has got it behind a paywall. Thank you, Robert, sending some positive vibes our way. Really appreciate it. Just trying to see if there's anything else. There's so many comments in here for me to try and check through. Sally, I love your word. Oh, salty. Yeah, very cool. You and I have been diagnosed with the same issue, I think. That's very good. Yeah, look, I don't. Somebody has said here, Ali, right? So, red pill away, popcorn time. A bit worried about the popcorn comments. What we're going to watch isn't going to be pleasant in a lot of cases. Understand, people are going to die. Children are going to die. It's not just going to be a great ride to financial success. There is going to be some pain between now and then, some recognition of some of the horrors that have befallen us, been taken out on us. We will see some justice meted out to those who perpetrated those crimes, at least in this century. So it's going to be difficult times. There's going to be a lot of people who aren't going to believe, even at the end of it, they're not going to believe what's going on. We just have to try and be good. I don't think it's a popcorn thing. Having said that, I do have popcorn in my little emergency rations pack, but that's more a bit of fun than anything else. I think that there's a lot of big things coming down the pipe this week. Don't take your eyes off England. There's some very interesting things going on in England. I didn't download them today and put them up, but you've probably seen already quite a number of TikTok videos of thousands of troops marching along the streets in London at night. Now, marching's a strong term. They're more walking in ranks. People getting very excited about that. What I didn't see was many of them armed. They all seem to be just carrying out backpacks. And because of the security operation involved with the burial of the lizard, then they had troops everywhere. So it's now being suggested that those troops were part of the security team, the largest security team ever amassed, apparently, on Earth. And they were coming out of subways and coming out of the tower and coming out of the palaces and coming out of houses and coming out everywhere. Thousands of them just walking down the streets. But I didn't see too many armed men amongst them, or women for that matter. So, I hesitate to call that as anything too significant at the moment. Okay, Peter, or so P wants me to go to Victoria. Mornington, what a beautiful part of the world that is. All right, so we might as well start talking about where we got to go, because at the end of this week, I've got to go somewhere. I've had some discussions about going south early next month again, back into New South Wales. Now, if you would like a show in, I think I've had people from Coffs Harbour, Port Macquarie, Wyong, I want to say. I've had people in Shell Harbour, Bega, contact us to see if we could get a show there. I've also had people in Bathurst who wanted us to put a show on there. Katoomba, we're going to go back to Katoomba. We're going to go up on top of the hill, and we're going to have breakfast one very cold morning at the lovely Michelle's place. Michelle came to us at the magnificent Maldini's restaurant in Penrith a week or two ago, and did a great music set. This girl has got a set of lungs, folks. Boy, could she sing. At any rate, she owns a lovely little place that's on top of the mountain there at Katoomba. And we thought we might slip in there and do a breakfast show one morning. It's only a very small place. She does a mean bacon and egg roll and a pretty good coffee. So we thought we'll slip in there and do a brekkie show and have a bit of a chat with a few of the locals there too. If you have trying to draw a line, if you like, from Queensland to Sydney to Victoria, somewhere around the first week of October, there is a suggestion that there is an event happening in Sydney on the 7th that a large Australian-Russian may or may not have invited me to at the moment. So I would like to go to that. It would be a great pleasure to catch up with the Aussie Cossack, and he's been running around saying nice things about me lately. We have been talking on the phone, and I think he's appearing tonight on Guru's show. So if you want to go and check that out, I think Guru fires up about 6:30 tonight on Stop the Rot, Sack the Lot on Facebook. So, but the Cossack will come on my show eventually, so he says. So we'll wait and see what happens. Our phones will eventually meet up at the right point in time, and we'll have a chat. He's working pretty hard at the moment on getting his book organised, and that's what I'm referring to on the 7th of October. There's a bit of a pre-launch party thing happening, so I'd love to come down to Sydney for that. And I figure if I'm coming down, Coffs Harbour, Port Macquarie, Electoral. I know you guys want me to come back through there, so happy to come back there, either on the way down or on the way back. Same for Singleton. They're keen for us to come back to Singo, and let's go back to the Cali and see how things are going with the red ensign on the pub. I haven't spoken to Brad this week, so I will give him a call and try and get an update there. Love to go to Bathurst, particularly love to go to Bathurst anytime sort of the 8th or 9th. I'd be fine going to Bathurst. Don't need a show, that's fine. Just point me in the right direction. I'll do a bit of commentary. I used to do a bit of V8 supercar commentary back in the day. At any rate, Bathurst is on, so God knows where we'll wind up that weekend. Further to that, can go a little bit further south and west into New South Wales, but need to go back up north again in November, it looks like now, for a run up into northern Queensland. Going to be back in Hervey Bay, definitely sometime between the 2nd and the 5th of November. We will look at doing a show, I would hope, in Rockhampton or Yeppoon. So you folks who've already contacted me once to say we'd like a show in Rockhampton and Yeppoon, your emails are buried in a pile of thousands. Can I ask you to please email either me at carl@vofhq.com, or go to our website now. We have an admin. You will find our admin named VOFMC-official. And you'll find that we have a little bit of a chat thing happening there. You can get a bit of information, details. If you post up a comment or a question, somebody at least now will be moderating it a lot more ably than I will. And that person will be organising venues for me to go to, and helping you with ideas on how you can get a venue for nothing. You don't have to go out and pay for a venue for us to come. The whole goal of this is that I don't charge for the show. I just come, bring all the gear, drive to wherever the hell it needs to be, set it up, do it, come home again. All I ask is a bit of fuel money and a bit of somewhere to sleep. And more it looks like we're going to be bringing tents and stuff with us. So that's not going to be such an issue. It's just a matter of keeping us on the road. That's the problem at the moment. And the fuel excise is about to get dropped on us again. So what's that, another 22 cents a litre on top of whatever we'll be paying in a fortnight when it comes back. That's probably the biggest issue that I have. So if you have questions or you'd like to organise a show in your town, we'd love to come. That's the directions at the moment. Probably New South Wales through October again, and then back up northern Queensland, Rockhampton, Yeppoon, Mackay, Townsville, Cairns, and then back home again. I'd like to be back at some stage. Well, I'm pretty keen to go in Melbourne for the November the 11th, but I don't know that I'll get there for that given this time frame. So I'd much prefer. The people in Queensland have been asking me to come up north now for 2 months, and I haven't been able to get theirs yet. So the plan is we will definitely make that happen before the end of the year. Anyone else who is in between going south? Victoria, yes, we are going to come to Victoria. Tasmania, still trying to organise a few little places in Tasmania. I think there are 3 potential dates for Tasmania that we're looking at. Don't take any notice of the dates on the vofhq.com website because I haven't updated it yet. Only learned how to yesterday. So as soon as I finish this, I'm going to go in there and try and start updating things. So if the website falls over, you'll know that it's me and fat finger disease that have been playing with it again. I don't know that I've got much more to add. Hi, Andrew. Nice to sight you. Thank you, Camillo. I will give you a call back, Camillo. Just been flat out this morning. I've been taking red pills for the last 20 years, slowly woken up. But when I spoke the truth over the past 2 years, got shouted down and insulted. Yes. Well, Bill, I got to tell you, there's going to be a lot of people, probably like yourself, who've been at this a lot longer than I have, and trying to wake people up a lot longer than I have, who are going to feel this probably a lot more deeply than I do, and I need to be very aware of that. I'm not the be all and end all when it comes to knowledge on this subject, and I'm certainly a newbie when it comes to a lot of it. So I'm the first one to admit that, and need to be mindful of people like yourself who've been doing it for 20 or 30 or 40 years, all to no avail, beating their head against a brick wall and suffering that, personal embarrassment, humiliation, frustration, and maybe ostracization. Have I made that word up? If you've been ostracized from your community, that could be another biggie for people who've been involved in the conspiracy movement for so long, particularly now that it looks like certain things are starting to happen. Studsy, what have you got on? Yep, that looks like something I'd be agreeing with. Our enemies are throwing their final few punches. Put it back up. Oh, yeah, we do know it's coming, and it's coming sooner, I think. Well, now we're saying sooner than we know. So apparently we're waiting for one person to sign off, and then it's all go. The others involved in the world, which is probably the biggest piece of news that has been confirmed today, and you're hearing stories maybe that Xi Jinping has been arrested. I wouldn't think that Xi Jinping has been arrested. He's probably been surrounded by a great deal of very friendly troops protecting him, because I believe that he's come out today as a white hat. And if he's a white hat, where does that put Putin? Go and ask your Ukraine-loving friends that. There is also a large group of generals involved in everything that's going on, as you would expect. They have to sign off on everything as well. So, as one of the other freedom guys said, 3 of the 4, just waiting on the 4th. They got 3 of the 4 signatures required, and just waiting on the 4th. And that could come at any day, at any time. So be prepared. Get a bit of cash in your pocket. Doesn't mean you've got to drain the bank, because even if the worst thing happens with the bank, I firmly believe that eventually, and I don't mean in the long term or the medium term, I mean in the short term, they'll all come back to you. They're not going to let you have anything else stolen from you, not even in this last final death throw. And if they do manage to steal it, it will come back, because there'll be nobody left on that other side to spend it. So it will come back. Frankston, my place, Janet. Yes, Frankston will be a key part of the Melbourne visit. In fact, I was only talking to Darren yesterday, and congratulations, Victoria. God, you guys are getting behind the councils and the trust unbelievably. Congratulations to everybody who's been able to get themselves involved with that already. I'm just going to have a look here to see if I can. No, that's not the website I'm looking for. Right, let's see if I can just share this screen for a moment. If I can find my other screen. All right. Let me share a different screen. Not fast. Try and find it. Where the bloody hell is it? There. All right. So this, once I hit share, oh, you've got it, right. That's the Frankston Community Council, People's Council page. Now, if you are at all interested in checking out the details of setting up your own community council, then can I suggest to you that you go and check out the Frankston People's Council page. Now, that web address is frankstonpeoplescouncil.org. I'm going to paste it in the chat. Now, at the moment, the page is still being populated. There is some information there, but if you are interested in setting up a People's Council in your particular council area, then go to the very second last there where it says minutes on the page, and click and read the first 3 lots of minutes from their first 3 meetings. And I think you'll find everything you need to know how to set this up in those minutes. Now, if you were watching last Wednesday night, this is the creation of Spiros, the solicitor that we spoke to about not just this, but about his win over the spicy cough and the Victorian Chief Health Officer, Brett Sutton. So Spiros is right behind this, and he has offered his services to anyone in Australia that wants to set up the People's Council. You need an admin, you need a treasurer, and you need a litigator. He has offered to be the litigator free of charge for every community council or every People's Council in Australia. So follow the guidelines and set one of these up, and you will have Spiros on your side 100%. And link in with the Frankston People's Council. Darren Bergworth is a wealth of information, and only too happy to either share or point you in the right direction where you can find those answers. It's really, really worthwhile checking out. Also, the People's Trust of Victoria is moving along nicely. It's great to see that the Victorian government is pushing back. In fact, they're pushing back so badly that they've managed to jump a few steps in the legal process to do so, which has opened some interesting avenues. And I'm sure at some stage in the not too distant future, we'll get Spiros on again for a bit of a chat. Now, I know by the volume of emails that I receive that a lot of you want to contact Spiros. I'm not in a position to share his contact details with you yet. I'm not sure that I ever will be. However, Spiros is retired. He isn't taking on new cases, and he is very tied up with the community councils and the people's trusts that are already established now in South Australia, Victoria, the ACT, Queensland and New South Wales. They're already established. Now, we'll have details on how you can start sending things into the trust coming up on our webpage very soon. Some of these deals, particularly Queensland and New South Wales, are very, very freshly inked. New South Wales, in fact, I think is the freshest inked. It may only be inked today, in fact. So that would mean we're still looking for Northern Territory, Tasmania and Western Australia, although I believe Western Australia is in train. So the People's Trusts are moving. Please use them. Don't shy away. Don't back away. The government are going to get a little nasty because they're obviously being starved of money. They don't like that. And we wouldn't like to do anything that's unjust or incorrect or illegal. All we're asking to do is justify that they are the appropriate group to be able to charge for the fine and receive those monies. That's the key. And unfortunately, they seem to be having a few troubles with that. But anyway, we'll see what happens. It's going to be an interesting time. The next few days, pretty blown away. So for folks who haven't seen the video, looks like there's a couple who haven't seen, and we've got a few more viewers who popped up on there. So 2 bits of news. I've posted up the link to the news that I received about the Reserve Bank of Australia being bust toward the end of last week. I've just kept the link out just to see how many people came out of the closet to accuse me of, spreading bullshit. But you can see the date that link was, or that story was written, and well, it's sort of in line with what I was saying. And then this has come to me just in the last few hours, claimed it's been on air in America on Fox News. Never seen anything like this on Fox News.
Watermark ballots in over 12 states have been part of a huge Trump and military white hat sting operation. And Biden crime family and ballot fraud co-conspirators, elected officials, bureaucrats, social media censorship mongers, fake stream media reporters, etc., are being arrested and detained for ballot fraud right now and over coming days, and will be living in barges off Gitmo to face military tribunals for sedition. Molly,
there you go. What do you say? I don't know. I can't prove it. I'm not sitting on a barge off Gitmo, so I couldn't tell you if there's any truth to that or not. But it seems pretty interesting that it's going to air on Fox. Yeah, I haven't got a link to the Fox story re Blackrock yet, Melanie. In fact, I don't know. The financial markets are going to get real interesting because I don't know how they could possibly keep the news of Blackrock and Vanguard being broke quiet from the markets for long. And the reason, of course, that they're keeping it quiet is because the market will crash. Vanguard and Blackrock own everything. So they're trying to hold out for as long as possible. And I believe that a lot of this has to do with something. I don't pretend to understand the stock market. I believe it has something to do with the kind of trading that they can do, where they can bet whether you're going to, your stock is going to go up or down in price. Comrex trading, I think it's called. They also have that sort of trade on precious metals. And that's the only thing that's keeping the market alive at the moment. That's the precious metal market, apparently. Once the Comrex trade fraud is exposed, the market is going to take a bit of a kick. Don't sell. Don't sell if you don't have to. Don't sell. Prices will come back. The stock market's not going to go away. It'll come back. It'll just be a much better place to play, and it'll be a much safer place to put your money and know that the bastards who are playing things like this Comrex fraud can't get at your dollars. So that's all going to come, I think, in the very near future. So fingers crossed in the next few days, maybe in the next few hours, because how can you keep something like that big, quiet for that long? Eventually, with the central banks not being able to print money. The whole system is just going to grind to a halt. How long will it take? Well, I wouldn't have thought long. Wouldn't have thought long at all. So keep an eye out this week. Did you see the Donald Trump rally? The last Donald Trump rally. He came out and walked in front of a flag, an American flag that had the stars on the flag blacked out. You may have seen there's been quite a few notifications about it for people who may watch other video folks, other freedom fighters, other freedom talkers. So a black or a flag, American flag with all the stars blacked out means one thing. It sends a signal to the enemy that says there are no more deals. So previously, we believe that the Black Hats had been offered deals, come out, help us dig out every last trait of this. And, there is a deal to be had. You might wind up living, at least for a little while longer. But that now has ended. When Trump walked out in front of that flag, he sent a very, very, very strong message to anybody who was left on the other side that there is only one solution now, and that is to the death. So that only happened last 4 days or so, or 4 or 5 days. So video is available of that flag if you want to go and find it. Plenty of it out there. So it's only a matter of having a bit of a look and seeing what you see and learning what the symbology means. Symbology is everything. And you might remember back when we started talking about this, there was a saying that the symbols will be their downfall, or symbology will be their downfall. Well, symbology works both ways, and I think we saw a little bit of that the other day. I do not have a link to the People's Trust in New South Wales, but I will endeavour to get all that information from Spiros shortly. I'm not sure that those pages are set up yet in New South Wales or some other states, particularly Queensland. I know they're working very hard on it, but I'm pretty confident Queensland only got signed maybe Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday of last week. And I believe that New South Wales may have been signed today, if not maybe in the next few days. So there will be then a period where they've got to set themselves up and get a bit organised. But rest assured, when we have those details, I will post them on our website here, and you just got to click on them and it'll send you straight there. So looking forward to that. All right, folks, I've spoken for about 15 minutes longer than I thought I was going to. I'm just having a bit of a look to see if there's any questions that I've really missed down towards the bot. Aussie Cossack is half Russian, half English. Well, yes, he was born here in Australia. His mother was actually born in Geelong. So yes, there's a fair bit of Australian in him, that's for sure. But there is no doubting he is certainly very patriotic when it comes to the motherland. And, that sort of patriotism is what we love about him. Otherwise, he'd just be the Aussie, wouldn't he? Yeah, the Vatican did ask for all its money back by September the 30th, and Z did get arrested. I think Z is a little less than arrested. He might be. The world might be being told he's arrested, but the CCP can't do anything to him at the moment, I don't think. I think the CCP are reeling a great deal from what's going on at the moment. I think they've been gazumped, and they right under their noses, which is just brilliant. Okay, can't see too many more questions there. It's nice to see so many people having a good chat. Starseed's in there. Hello, Starseed. All good. All right, folks, I'm going to leave you with that. That was a bit of news that I had for you. Fitz and I are going to come back with another live show tonight at 7:30 if I manage to get everything I've got to get cut together and put in there for that. We're going to have a bit of a look at some other people teaching stuff about Magna Carta tonight. I've had a lot of requests from people to get Dick Yardley on the show and have a talk, or Mike Holt. We've had some email communications. Don't think they're going to come on the show. So they did send us some rather interesting information, including the book. So I've had a bit of read of the book, and it's an interesting book. Fitz and I are going to have a talk about the book tonight. Could be an interesting book. Could be an interesting night. Look forward to maybe having your time then. Angela, CPN, check my video as I asked the Aussie Cossack if it was true. What did you ask him if it was true? I can't remember. Can't find it. I'll have to scroll back and have a look later. All right. Thanks, Bill. Pardon me, folks. I'm just working off the laptop, so the microphone, I don't know what the audio's like. You can see that my phone cover's just about ratchet, so that might have contributed to some of the microphone issues I had the other morning when I shot that off the phone. So apologies for that. Audio, it's going to be the bloody death of me, I can tell you. All right, folks, have a great afternoon. If you're out on the roads, keep away from the dickheads, and please, if you can possibly avoid it at all, don't be one of them. That would be just bad.
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back. Does anybody else want to stay? Let's rock!